name tags in front of you, and I don't know all of your names, I know some of you. Can you just write your name on there so if I call on you, I know who you are? Day of your new lesson, or your new chapter, which is Ocean Motions. So I'm just going to read a little guided imagery. I don't know if any of you have ever done this before, but it's basically taking you through an experience of my life, and you're just supposed to be making mental pictures in your head while I read it. And then you have the story in front of you, so afterwards you're going to reread it and try to pick out the vocabulary that you think might be in your science chapter. So think what science words might be in this, okay? So just imagine, you can close your eyes if you want to. Imagine you finally saved enough money to start going on your study abroad trip you've always dreamed of. Your flight going to Sydney, Australia. Thank God, it is almost summer there. You relax on the plane as you dream of the adventure before you. You're sad to be leaving your family behind, but you will not miss their lectures of tsunamis and rip currents. You'll feel yourself fulfilling all the goals that you ever wanted in just 1 month. Your flight has landed, and you're ready to start your journey. First on the list is definitely the beach. You didn't take those scuba diving lessons, that scuba diving class last semester to check it out now. And of course, the coral reef is great in this area. You jump behind the Harley that awaits you at the airport, just ahead to the nearest PADI dive shop. You see the waves of the Pacific Ocean. Oh, it's just as you had hoped. You watch as the wave height comes to a crest. You hope that the wave length will be long enough for some good surfing later. You think back to your days on the Mississippi River, when the frequency of wave was only the big boat coming by. You sure did love jumping in those waves, but this will be much more exciting. You reach the PADI dive shop, but the trips are booked out for the day. You decide to take a long walk down the sandy beach. The sun will be setting soon, and you're sure to catch a colorful sunset. As the sun goes down, you notice about the shore you didn't notice at home. The walk is more challenging, as you're walking at an angle for some reason. Where did this slight hill come from? You enjoy looking at the little tide pools, hoping to find a neat shell or two to take home for a souvenir. You notice that several hotels have walls of rocks built up. You guess this is probably to protect erosion, since you've seen similar things in the United States. You dip your feet into the water, and you sigh. You feel so lucky to experience such an amazing day in such an amazing place. But today is just the first day of many days to be grateful for on a trip like this, Pacific Challenge 2005-2006. So this is a trip I actually did go on. Some of the words I wouldn't have necessarily said in the trip, but I used them for the science. And some of the pictures are up here, and you can take a look later. I really did jump on a Harley after the airport, and I didn't know the person, but it was all set up through the trip. It's a Harley organization through Sydney. And they took us right along the shore. We saw the Opera House and everything. I really did go scuba diving and take classes. I have pictures of that. And we really did go surfing. This was a month-long trip in January, and we went hiking. We also went to New Zealand, and I also went to Fiji. So it was really a dream that I've always wanted to do, and I got to do lots of fun activities. But what I wanted you to get out of this experience is, what science vocabulary do you think you might be learning? So what I want you to do is flip your papers over. I'm going to pass out a highlighter. As you read, I want you to think of 7 words, there's only 7, that you think might be in your science vocabulary for your chapter, Ocean Motions. If you have one, I guess you can take it out. I don't know if everyone would have a highlighter. Some guesses? Jason?
Tsunamis and river currents.
Okay, other guesses?
Coral reefs and crest.
Okay. Good guess?
Wave height and wavelength.
Tide pools.
Tide pools. Sebastian?
Erosion.
Paul?
Frequencies.
Frequency?
Ocean.
Ocean? That makes sense. Ocean and ocean.
Scuba diving.
Scuba diving? Maybe. Okay. These are the words that are your main words from your chapter. You don't have to highlight them on a sheet. If you're wrong, it's not a big deal. Some of them weren't accurate for me. Oh, Larissa, can you read that one?
A rush of water that flows rapidly back to sea through a narrow opening.
A rush of water that flows rapidly back to sea through a narrow opening. So these are your choices. Groin, wave height, wavelength, rip current, crest, frequency, tsunami, longshore, drift. I think that got cut off. Do you want to come up, Jason? Okay, see if we get it right. Gets it right. Check them all at the end, and if it doesn't work, we'll have to fix something. Thumbs up if you agree with him, if you think he's right. Okay? Let's read the next one. Who made that one? Right.
The highest point of a wave.
The highest point of the wave. I thought you could use your reasoning skills and probably figure this one out. Ryan, you want to come up? Why did you pick that one?
Because it's height.
It has the word wave and height. Okay? Good. Hannah, you want to read the next one?
Number of waves that pass a point in a certain amount of time.
The number of waves that pass a point in a certain amount of time. Clark? Frequency, how often? Okay. A wave that forms beneath the surface, usually caused by an earthquake on the ocean floor. Christian? I was really excited to use the smart board because we don't have those at our building. They're fun. Go a little slower. Just your fingertip, not anything else. Just go slow. There, this is the one you want to write. Okay. The horizontal movement between crests. Who's not trying to come up yet? What's your name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Oh, Cindy, fine. First name, but you can call me Miss Lundberg. There should have been a space between that. Wait. Got a squeaky finger. Good. A wall of rocks or concrete built to reduce the erosion along a stretch of the beach. Getting down there in choices. Paul? Why did you pick that one?
Because I think I know those two. This is the
That's the only one you don't know? Okay. That's a good way to reason. Vertical distance from the crest to the trough. Do you think we have any mistakes?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Maya? Okay. Maya, come on.
Use your knuckle.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that.
That's what Miss Pokey does when she has a straw.
Okay, so this means this is the last one. I think we're wrong.
Yes. Time to check what.
I think we.
Oh, new one.
What do you want to do? What should we do?
I know.
What should we change? Something's wrong. Maria? What do you want to change? Are you cutting the grass? What, like your toothpick corrections that wants to run out? Oh, okay, so that one went over there. Yay. Oh, love you so much. And then you want to move these two? So the crest is the highest point, the wave height, the vertical distance between the crest and the trowel. Can you explain what the trowel is a little bit?
Usually that big, that
The
deep,
big dip?
big dip, yeah.
And then the longshore drift is, I'm going to show you a YouTube video and that'll explain that a little bit more. Okay, because those groin and longshore drift, those were the ones that I had the hardest time with. I'm not a science teacher. I had to research too. And the pictures of the YouTube videos really made me understand it. So we're going to go back and we're going to watch the YouTube video. This one is showing the longshore drifting groin, so I'll show you that one first. And then this one is going to focus on the rip current. So I had a misconception of what a rip current was. I thought it meant pull you under. Is that what you were kind of thinking?
Yeah,
Pulls you
alright,
under, right?
no, rest in peace.
So we're going to watch this one first.
Just push on the globe, a little circle. There you go.
It's coming. Patience. You can stop it for the video.
Just, yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is go back to the words. And while you're watching the video, I've cast out a sheet that looks like this. Okay. We're only doing one of these, so don't panic. I gave you several copies because there's several words. I'd rather have you do one well than 7 bad. Okay? So, it says definition in your own words. Can you copy my definition?
No.
No. What makes sense to you?
We do our own word.
Synonyms. What's a synonym? Not cinnamon. Synonym. Paul.
Words that are the same meaning.
Words that have the same meaning, or something that reminds you of the word at least. It doesn't have to be a synonym, doesn't have to be the same, but something that reminds you. So if you think of waves and you think of Florida, because you've been to Florida, you could write Florida. So something that reminds you of the word. Okay, it doesn't have to be a synonym like that, okay? Use it in a sentence, you know how to do that. And then draw a picture of it. You've done this before in your class. Okay, draw a picture of what it would look like to you. Any questions on this? Anyone actually been to the ocean before? Wow, almost the whole class? Why don't you share with someone next to you what your experience was like?